Hello, welcome to Doobies, Doobies, Doobie, Doug. Sunday Services Edition. Yeah, it's Sunday again. How's everybody doing? I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Miss Patty Sunshine for this beautiful hat. 5 years later, it's still in rotation. Gets worn about twice a week. If you know me, you know I'm a hat person. I carry around a duffel bag full of clothes and about 2/3 of it's hats. I mean, look at the smoke on this pot. It's just killer weed. I'm loving it. So today's topic is friends. I know a lot of people. All over this country. All over about 10 more countries. I have maybe a half a dozen friends. I love them to pieces, even though most of them are pretty hard to love. Something we have in common. But all of my friends, all of the people that I hold dear and close to my heart, all have one thing in common. They're going to meet you where you are. Simple. They're not going to meet you where they are. They're not going to meet you where society says they should be. They're going to meet you where you are. They're going to take you as you and them as them, and it is it. And that's it. There's no sub-language. There's no innuendo. There's no unspoken, unheard. None of that bullshit. So, to all of those in my life that are still in my life who not only refused to hate me when I called them on their bullshit, but were there and square when it was time to call me on mine. Cheers. Here's to you. I hope you realize what a rare individual you are. You know, one of the things that I value the most in my friends is their willingness to find me useful. I like to be useful. It's kind of what I do. So, friends that I can be helpful to are my favorite. You know, I have a lot of friends who've been very, very helpful to me. And part of the reason that they were able to help me is they were able to find ways for me to help them. So, there's a lot to be said for allowing people to help. It's not always easy. In fact, it's pretty much never easy. Let somebody else help you. But I don't know what else to do. But be helpful. So I'll keep rolling like that and sticking with my half a dozen friends of who I can be helpful to. So this new job has it set up so that I don't have to buy weed anymore. Well, more accurately, I don't have to worry about weed anymore. I don't have to sweat it. Don't have to wonder if I'm going to have weed tomorrow. Don't have to worry if this joint's too big. You know? It's a huge change. I mean, even over and above the change of moving to Oregon and having it readily available, I still had to think about every time I roll a joint, that's another $6. And now I don't have to think of things like that, so it's quite pleasant. I'll be right back. And I'm back. Neighbor come over looking for his dog. Here's a little chihuahua named Oliver. And apparently Oliver wants to live at my house. Because every time Oliver gets loose, he comes over here. Now, I personally don't like Oliver. I stomp my feet and yell at him every time he comes over here. So I don't know why Oliver wants to live with me. I'm an asshole. But he does. So, zer, zer, says the phone. That's probably somebody trying to get me to come work on a Sunday, which ain't happening. According to Sunday services rules, you can work on Sunday if you want to. Only if you want to. And it's not fair or kind or nice or acceptable to put pressure on somebody to do work on a Sunday. Now, this has nothing to do whatsoever with religion. Well, in a shirt tail kind of way it does. Because when I first started farming, all the places were closed on Sundays. So we just took Sunday to chill around the farm. And, you know, if I want to get the planter ready for Monday, I can take it apart and fix the broken part, but I don't have to. No one's going to put any pressure on me to. I have the day off to just be me and be kind. And now, granted, sometimes what I want to do is go weed the tomatoes because it's a perfect day for it. But I don't need to feel any pressure to get it done. Monday comes, I'm up and at it, man. It's time to go. Workity work. But Sunday, if I feel like working, I work. If I don't, I don't. That's how it works. I mean, the parts store is closed. The bar is closed all day. Back then. So, just take the day to chill, smoke pot, talk about whatever's good, you know. Speaking of whatever's good, if you're a vegetarian and you don't have any of this in your life, get your shit together. I keep running out, and I'll go a month or two without it, and man, do I ever feel the effects. Your body needs B12. Needs it. Has to have it. And if you don't eat eggs, which I don't, even when I was a meat eater, I didn't eat eggs. That shit's fucking nasty. You need it. So, if you're vegetarian, get yourself some yeast. This Bragg's is pretty good. It's nice and flaky, has a good texture. The more they grind it, the more fine of a powder it gets, the more pungent, dank, I guess is the word, that the flavor gets. But it also gets kind of grainy. So experiment with different kinds. I sprinkle it right on my fucking toast with butter, or on popcorn, macaroni, just anything where cheese would go. You can sprinkle it on there. I put it on my tacos, I put it in my chili, and just everything. One of my favorite dishes is the thin sliced tofu. And I learned this from Sandra on the farm, because I hated tofu. And she's like, try this. A thin sliced tofu, about an eighth of an inch thick, a little thinner than that. And fry it in olive oil until it's dark brown and crispy. And then, hang on. Just before it comes off the grill, I give it a shot of this. The Bragg's, which has every amino acid known to man in it. It's like soy sauce, only it's cold filtered so the amino acids don't get broken down. Right? So I splash that on there, turn the grill down so I don't smoke the house. Splash some of that on there and flip it over a few times in that and let it absorb some of that oil, and then I sprinkle these on it and make that like a breading, a combination of the soy sauce and the fucking yeast. And eat it out like you're making an egg sandwich, I guess, or a BLT or something. Just toast, lettuce, whatever mustard you like, cheese. Holy fuck, is that good. I had like 4 sandwiches for dinner of that the other night, man. It was just like, wow. You can be up all night farting on me. Good shit. So yeah, I guess I've gained a certain level of wisdom about vegetarianism from being one for 30 years. That is useful. Oh, I'm jealous. And 2 people just rode by on nice e-bikes. Vegetarianism. Morning. If you work for a living, if you use your body for a living, oats, peanut butter, honey. Try it for a week, every morning for breakfast. Oats, peanut butter, honey. Fruit if you like it, don't need it. Lentils for lunch, whatever the fuck you want for dinner. Try it for a week. You'll thank me later. You put oats, peanut butter, and honey in you are rocking out all morning. You back that up with lentils at lunch, and the day's going to be over with before you know it. It's just the perfect fucking mix of fuel for using your body all day. If you just turned vegetarian, there's some things you need to know. Number 1, you're full. Stop. I know it doesn't feel like you're full. You're full. Stop. If you just turned vegetarian, you've had a lifetime of overextending your stomach tissue. You've had a lifetime of pushing your fucking digestive tract way beyond what it's meant to do. And that empty feeling that you have isn't emptiness. It's tissue regenerating itself because it's no longer being destroyed. So, in about 2 years' time, after you stop eating meat completely, you'll start to feel full when you're full. Until then, all you're doing is packing on weight and or making giant turds. And if you think you're going to become a vegetarian to lose weight, think again. If you're not losing weight on a meat diet, you're definitely not going to lose weight on a vegetarian diet. If you can't control your weight, you can't control your weight. Switching to a vegetarian diet is probably only going to make it worse and maybe push you into either hypoglycemia or hyperglycemia. Because you're going to try to pack in all them calories that you're used to burning. It's this simple. Meat takes a lot more calories to digest than vegetables. A lot more. So you're burning up huge amounts of your calories in the actual digestion process of the food. Whereas vegetarian food, especially after your metabolism resets after the first couple of years, you're just feeding your body. It takes way less energy to digest them than it does meat. So more of those calories are making it into your fucking bloodstream and into your body. By far. So once your metabolism resets to vegetarianism, you're just going to, if you're following your psyche of how much I need to eat every day, or just some vague feeling from your stomach, or some programming or training you've endured, you're going to eat too much. And you're going to eat wrong, and you're going to eat at the wrong times. Okay? I know very, very, very few successful vegetarians that eat 3 square meals a day. It's either one giant fucking square meal a day, or they browse all day. And maybe eat one regular sized meal at night. So that's another thing. If you try to stick to your eating schedule that you had when you're a meat eater, you're probably going to fail. You're probably going to have the opposite effects on your health that you're trying to have. Becoming vegetarian isn't as simple as just changing what you eat. You have to change when you eat, how you eat it, and what you do with what you eat. You eat a pound of bulgur or a pound of meat before you go to bed. You wake up in the morning, that meat is only 15% digested. That bulgur's a turd already. It wants out. Trust me. So, understand what you're doing. I'm all for, I advocate vegetarianism, but I advocate doing it successfully and wisely. Otherwise, you're just going to go right in the opposite direction you're trying to go. Even if you don't go back to eating meat, you're going to be causing detrimental effects on your health. Which is, I would think, the opposite of what you're trying to do. Learning how you burn calories of different types. Learning about the relationships between your muscles and lactic acids. Learning about how amino acids affect digestion and how different balances in your body chemistry will affect the blood-brain barrier as far as how drugs work and so on and so forth. And digging into those things and learning about them is even if you don't understand everything that you're reading, you should be able to get just enough of a gist of it to understand how to utilize the information. And, because I mean, there's a lot of that stuff that just, you get so convoluted, it's really hard to understand, but you can get enough of a general gist to understand how to use the information in your vegetarianism. And that's why I talk about the oats, peanut butter, and honey thing in the morning if you're a worker. Because getting that body revamped and restarted requires a bunch of sugar and carbs for active burning energy. And then you throw all that peanut butter in there and you have that slow burn protein energy that's going to get you through the morning. Lentils, same kind of thing, only in a different spectrum. It's a more of the middle of the road spectrum, but it's going to deliver these carbs that transfer into sugars and these proteins at a different rate because your body's already activated, kick-started. It doesn't need all the sugars and so on and so forth to get things flowing. You very literally make your body with what you put in it. So if you're going to make a decision as important as turning vegetarian, you should really put at least as much research into it as you put into finding out how to run Facebook. I find that oddly confusing. I can't remember how to beat a game I played 10 years ago, and it takes me forever to learn the map on a game. And yet I can memorize statutes and chemical names for things and so on and so forth. And it seems the reverse to other people. Like I can remember 16 passwords for 8 different devices and 12 different accounts. Can't remember what's in their food. So. But as you can hear, my phone's blowing up. And someone's going to try to get me to work on Sunday. We're going to see how that goes. But for now, this has been Sunday Services with Doug. Doobies with Doug. Peace and love, y'all.